Hi guys and girls, and welcome back to Xenus Minis. My name is Greg and this is episode 7 of Build and Paint, the hobby show that answers all of your hobby questions like how do I model razor wire for my 40k bases, what's GW's texture paint all about, how long is it going to be before that guy starts trying to use this guy as a proxy for an Imperial Knight, and does Good Boy Servo Skull set a brand new standard for Servo Skulls across the Imperium? Hats off to you, Servo Skull. I certainly wish I had one to clean up my spilled Nuln oil, a more recent, very tragic incident that's just occurred for me. But before I start getting even more depressed over the thought of it, let's kick things off with how to paint the lunar base for our Skitarii Ranger. To start, we're going to set up the razor wire. So I bought this from Army Painter, and all you need to do is clip off a strip and then you can start to shape it. A quick way to get it curled is to wrap it around a pencil or brush, and this will create a natural razor wire shape. Once you've got it shaped, you can adjust it as you see fit, and then you'll need to check it just to make sure that it works with the base you've got. Next, you're going to need to glue the razor wire down, so take some PVA glue and place some on your base. Now that the glue is on, you'll just need to pop the coil of razor wire on top of it and leave it to dry for around about an hour. It's good practice to check that your model actually fits on the base before the glue dries completely. After the PVA glue is fully dried, we're going to use a Grelin earth to create a cracked first layer. For our lunar base, we only want some subtle cracks, and this will be the first of 2 texture paints that we'll be using. As a rule of thumb, the more of this paint pooled in an area, the bigger the cracks will be. However, use too much and it'll just flake off the base. So I recommend having a bit of a practice on a few test bases first until you get the results you want. Once the paint is on, you can either wait for it to dry or heat up the paint with a hairdryer, and that will speed up the process. This texture paint is great for desert or ice bases as it cracks as it dries, and if you're not adding multiple layers like we are today, at this stage you can just simply dry brush it up to finish it off. Now you'll need to apply the second texture paint, Astrogranite. Firstly, I used a metal tool to place the Astrogranite on the base. Next, I'll use a brush to fully cover the previous layer, but I'll be focusing on moving the gritty texture around the cracks and avoid to get any directly on top of them. Astrogranite is a good choice for urban or lunar themes, and also comes as Astrogranite debris, which has slightly different properties. Texture paints are a great substitute for using sand and other materials, as it's paint with some grittiness already mixed in, and this has saved me a lot of time, especially when it comes to sand, as usually I'd have to wait for it to dry on the base, then I'd have to base coat it and then paint it up. With the Astrogranite dry, you'll now need to shade the entire base with Nuln oil. Don't worry about being neat, it's okay to get some of that on the base of the razor wire as well. Next, we're going to start weathering the razor wire with watered down Scrag Brown. You can thin the Scrag Brown to about a wash consistency using water or using Lahmian medium like I am in this video. No need to go overboard at this stage, as you still want some of the metal showing through. After the Scrag Brown is dried, we're going to darken the weather and rust effect using Agrax Earthshade. You only need to cover part of the Scrag Brown here in order to build up a dark to light transition. Now we're on to the dry brushing. Here I'm using a medium dry brush from Citadel along with Dawnstone. When dry brushing, you just need to wipe most of the paint from the brush on something like a paper towel. Once you've got the excess off, simply run the brush over the surface of the base, and this will catch all those raised areas. That'll help you build up your layer while avoiding the darker recesses. Now we're doing the same with Warp Fiend Grey, and this paint adds a purplish lilac tone to the base, making it seem more like an otherworldly moon. As you dry brush, and you may get some of the paint on the razor wire, and that's absolutely fine as it builds up that weathered look. However, if too much gets on the wire, then you can just repeat the scrag brown and agrax steps to tone it back down again. At this stage, you want to apply a lighter coat on top of the previous layer, so run your brush over the base with less pressure than before. This just stops the top layers from overpowering the ones below. Our last layer is pallid witch flesh, and this will help create an atmospheric glow around the outside of our base. We don't want to be getting too much of this paint towards the centre of the base, so dry brush from the outside in. This will catch the rim of the base and then subtly blend in with the warp fiend grey. You'll want to apply even less pressure than before. However, if you do make a mistake, you can always tone it back with another dry brush of warp fiend grey. And the dry brushing is finished. If you want to go back and apply another coat of scrag brown or agrax earthshade to the razor wire, now is the time to do it. If you're happy, then you can start to paint the rim of the base. I'm using a size 2 brush with Abaddon Black. I've thinned down the paint with Lahmian Medium, and I'll be applying 2 thin coats. The Lahmian Medium will leave a matte finish after it's dried. Because the Null Oil left some glossy patches, I'm just applying some Lahmian Medium to dull them down. Now I'm just going to add some shrubbery as a finishing touch. Lastly, it's time to get those legs glued on. I've marked roughly with a pen where the ranger's feet will stand, and then I've applied a spot of glue to each of the markers. Then carefully place the miniature onto the spots of glue and apply some pressure. The super glue should dry quite quickly, and once it has, we can call the base complete. Guys, that is the end of today's episode. Really hope you've enjoyed, but before I get stuck into the usual stuff, a massive thank you from me to you, because we have reached over 1,000 subscribers, so I'm pretty new to YouTube, so to hit that milestone at this stage is truly humbling. Really appreciate the subs, the likes, the comments. It's helping the channel grow, pushing me to create better content more frequently, so thank you for your support. If you are subscribing though, you are in with the chance of winning a brand new box of Rangers when the show comes to an end. So next week we're looking to paint the top half of the Ranger, so that's the robes and the torso, so I'm really looking forward to that. Hope you'll join me, but until then, take care. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.